Hi everyone, this is Miss Weidenhammer, and today we're going to be taking a look at Lesson 11, Diseases of the Heart. So far, we've gone over a lot of different things about the cardiovascular system and looked at a lot of different things within the unit. We've taken a look at blood vessels, arteries, ventricles. We've taken a look at breathing and how exactly ventilation occurs, how the heart works, and how we pump blood throughout the body, how electrical signals are being pushed throughout the body. So we've learned a lot in this unit. This is actually going to be our last unit of the cardiovascular system. And then tomorrow we will have a review day. So you're going to be completing the study guide, hopefully tonight into tomorrow, and your study guide will be due tomorrow afternoon. And then Thursday is our cardiovascular test. I believe that is April 1st already. Oh no, Wednesday's April 1st. Okay, good. Thursday, the 2nd of April, will be your test that you're going to have to complete from 9 to 4. So you have to submit it at 4 p.m. And then on Friday, we'll have another activity about the heart. But just to let you know that Thursday, April 2nd, we will have our test on the cardiovascular system that you will have to submit on Thursday by 4 p.m. So diving into our last lesson for this unit, we're going to be talking about diseases of the heart. And again, like other lessons, I want you to take a look at these two videos. They're very informative and very interesting about the different diseases of the heart, what causes these different diseases, what are the symptoms, what are some treatments for them. So again, after you watch this video, I want you to watch these two videos that are linked into the notes slides. So let's get into it. Today we're going to be talking about a couple of different things that can happen to our arteries that can cause different things in our heart that may cause different heart problems. So we're first going to be talking about atherosclerosis. So if you open your notes packet to, I believe, the second to last page, you're going to find this the slide that has causes and consequences of occlusion of the coronary arteries. So atherosclerosis is a degenerative disease, that's a big one, degenerative disease, and areas of the artery wall become damaged. So if you look at the picture over here, this is a cut section of an artery. So you can see that the artery wall is becoming damaged with this cholesterol buildup, and there's buildup within the walls of the arteries. Now, cholesterol builds up in damaged areas, so this eventually forms plaque and the artery wall loses elasticity. So if there's something going on with the wall of the artery, plaque and cholesterol can build up there, which can cause even more problems moving forward. So as build-ups of the cholesterol and plaque form, the lumen narrows, restricting blood flow. So you can think that here's your artery, right? Again, artery away from the heart, pushing blood away from the heart. It's going to, in here, form plaque in the wall and therefore make the lumen really tiny. So you can think that the walls are closing in, making the vessel that allows the blood to go through very, very tiny and very restricted. So if plaque ruptures, blood clotting is triggered, and blood clots are known as coronary thrombosis. So if you look at your picture here, it also shows that, so here's our plaque, right, this yellow. That plaque, if the wall ruptures and allows the plaque to exit, a blood clot is going to form. Just like if you got cut, like if you got a paper cut or if you fell outside, you would have blood clotting occurring to try to close up that opening or that injury. So it's doing the same thing here, but now within our arteries, within the vessel, which isn't going to be a good thing because now a blood clot's going to form. So a bunch of things are going to try to come to the wall to patch up the opening, but that's also going to cause a blockage of blood flowing through the whole artery in general, which isn't going to be good. And that is called coronary thrombosis. So how can atherosclerosis lead to other things and other diseases within the heart? Before we move on, I want you to take a look at this link here. So I want you to click on the link and take a look at what's going on within the heart when there is atherosclerosis, when there is a plaque buildup in the walls of the artery, and what can happen when and if that wall bursts, allowing the plaque to come out, and what blood clotting in the artery could do. Okay. So looking at that, we can go to our next slide to take a look at coronary heart disease. So we've taken a look at atherosclerosis. Again, that starts with an A, so you can correlate it with arteries, so the blocking of an artery because of plaque buildup. But coronary heart disease can be caused by atherosclerosis. So let's look at our first bullet. Atherosclerosis can lead to blood clots, and if these clots occur in myocardial tissue, we call it coronary heart disease. So remember in a previous lesson, we talked about how there is a coronary artery, and that artery brings oxygenated blood from the heart to the heart muscle, to the heart tissue, because the heart itself is a muscle, and it not only pumps blood, but it also needs oxygenated blood just like the other tissues in our body. So if atherosclerosis happens in a coronary artery, an artery that brings oxygenated blood to the heart muscle itself, that is going to lead to coronary heart disease. It's going to lead to our heart muscles not getting enough oxygen that it needs because blood is getting restricted in the artery. So let's take at our let's take a look at our second bullet here. A myocardial infarction, a heart attack, occurs if a coronary artery becomes completely blocked. So you may know people in your family, in your life, that has had a heart attack. My grandma had a heart attack a couple years ago because of a coronary heart disease. And this happens when the coronary artery becomes totally blocked. So again, if the artery is blocked that leads to your heart tissue, that's not going to allow oxygen or oxygenated blood to get to your heart. And your heart needs that to be able to pump the blood into the rest of your body. So when a heart attack occurs, you can see in the picture here, when a heart attack occurs, it's because the plaque has built up, there's blood clotting, the oxygenated blood cannot move through that artery and cannot bring oxygen to where it has to go. So looking at that picture. And last but not least here, coronary muscle tissue dies as a result of a lack of blood and oxygen, just like any other muscle would. If our muscle or tissues don't get that oxygenated blood to it, it's going to begin to die. And that's what happens if your coronary artery is blocked. It's not going to bring that oxygenated blood to the tissue of the heart to allow it to function properly. So I want you to take a look at the images here that show you what's going on with the blockage of an artery, what's going on with coronary heart disease, atherosclerosis, and heart attack. And last but not least, what are the risk factors in coronary heart disease? So what could play a role in the risk of getting coronary heart disease? There's a couple of ones that we can see here. So we first have genetics. Some people are predisposed for high cholesterol levels and high blood pressure, which can have an influence on coronary heart disease. And if you do get atherosclerosis, age plays a role. Older people do have greater risks. So usually heart attacks occur in older people. Sex, males are actually at a greater risk than females for coronary heart disease. Smoking is a big one. Smoking can constrict blood vessels. It can increase blood pressure, heart rate, decrease oxygen going to your heart muscles. So a lot of different things can happen if you do smoke. Diet has an impact. It's a risk factor. If you eat a lot of fatty foods, cholesterol, LDL in blood can lead to plaque formation and possibly blood clotting happening if your artery wall breaks, and therefore can totally block the oxygenated blood to where it's supposed to go. Exercise, lack of exercise can increase the risk due to weakened circulation. Obesity can have a risk. It can increase blood pressure. It can lead to plaque formation. And again, that plaque formation in the walls of the artery restricts the blood vessel. And if it breaks, it could lead to a blood clot, which would totally block the pathway. And then last but not least, stress as well can have an impact on coronary heart disease. Stress can be linked to increased cortisol hormones in the blood, causing increased atherosclerosis. So here are just some risk factors in coronary heart disease. And so that is again the last of the lessons of this unit. I've hoped you enjoyed the cardiovascular unit. I think it is a very, very fascinating and interesting unit because it has to really do with the physiological part of your body, talking about the anatomy of your body. It's very interesting how your body can function and do all of these things without you even having to worry about it. So it is a very, very interesting topic. So now that we've gone through these slides for today, our classwork is going to be looking at the cardiovascular health web quest. So now you're going to use these different links to go through the different heart diseases and going through the risk factors, causes, symptoms. So I want you to analyze and go through using these different links. I believe I messed up yesterday's video and said that this was for homework for yesterday, but it's actually today's homework. So if you could get that done for work today. And then moving on, tomorrow your study guide packet is going to be due. So I want you to begin working on this study guide packet tonight. I think would be a good idea to start going through. So if you do have any questions tomorrow, you can join the Google Hangout. You can email me and ask me any questions that you have on the study guide packet. And then again, Thursday will be our test. So please feel free to ask me any questions you have. And I'm looking forward to seeing you soon. I hope you're all being safe and have a great rest of your day. Talk to you soon.